and others. And also you get people who also create other media, people like Thunderfoot, Freethinker, DPR Jones, R.N. Raw.
That would be Freethinker.
Yeah, Freethinker. Yeah, he's got one of the main guys who helped promote our show very early on.
How you doing?
And that's really where it ends. And I think that the only two explicitly atheist discussion shows on television right now are the Atheist Experience in Austin and us, and they're both on public access.
And there's a point I want to make about that, but we've got...
I just want to make a quick point before I take the call. The fact that both of these shows have international viewers says something about the absolute absence that we have of any kind of atheist presence in the media. Again, the majority of our audience here and the Atheist Experience are through the internet. And the fact that it shows the distribution power of the internet and the one way we can get any sort of foothold at all. And even then, it's incredibly small. According to some polls, atheists make up about 5 to 16%. I mean, that is just a wide margin with a lot of room for error. And we don't even have the low end of that spectrum. We don't even have that percentage of representation in the media. So a big part of this show is we want to join the conversation and have some representation in the media. We do have a call. John from Maple Valley. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
What have you got for us, John?
Well, I would just like to clear up something that I've discovered in my own life about religion and atheism and knowing. What you guys are doing is really rejecting the belief system. Because within every human being is the desire to know the truth, not to believe. Believing is just buying somebody else's word. When you believe something, you've abdicated your sovereignty of knowing. Jesus and all these past masters that religions are based on had one theme they talked about. That is, the heavenly joy all men seek is already in your heart. Those answers are already within you. And religious people have given up that desire to know, and they're buying hearsay from people. They're not really Christians, they're Babylonians. And
that's a very good point, is it does say that in the Bible, but then they look to where a lot of this negativity is coming from. They're also finding in the Bible in other places. So, some people try and take the good with the bad, and I have a lot of respect for that. But, like I said, from our skeptical background, we tend to look to what we've discovered on a scientific basis about things. And that's where we make a lot more of our judgments.
Yeah, I care about whether my beliefs are true. And a big part of it is can I use these beliefs to make a reliable framework for which I can make accurate predictions. And
believing is not a foundation to be walking through life. When your heart is pounding and your mind is pounding to know truth.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with that. I think that things that are independently verifiable. That I think we might be using the word believe and know differently. I think that there really isn't that big of a, there's a semantic difference, but I think that generally
there's a big difference.
Well, I think we're getting into semantics.
Believing is admitting that you don't know.
Not necessarily. I think that belief.
Oh, yes, it is.
I'm just saying. Let me go from my definition that I've heard used. That belief is basically my assertion of a state of the world. It isn't the same as me just wishing for something. It isn't a state of the world that I want. It's something that I actually believe represents a state of the world. Like I can believe that I can fly, but there's a way for me to find out that I'm wrong. I think a big part of it is I want to have, to the greatest degree possible, I want the things that I believe match up to reality as closely as possible. So I don't think we're disagreeing on anything. I think we should be having a semantic argument.
I think we're making, I think some of the division here is happening is that you're talking about beliefs versus knowledge on sort of an abstract basis, and
I'm talking about proof.
Oh, we're with you on proof.
Yeah, we're definitely with you on proof.
It's like flying. We know there are machines up there that can fly, so it's proven to us that we can fly. To say that Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is at hand, it's available right now, and it's inside you. It's not in a temple, you're the temple. It's not in a religion, it's not in a belief. Your heart will understand truth when it hears it. And your mind Your mind is the one that confuses with know or with beliefs, wants to throw up beliefs in front of the desire to know. That's simply how I see it. And you guys are closer to understanding the true nature of God, what the masters in the past, even Socrates says, man, know thyself. Within inside you are all the answers. And
well, when God chooses to provide us with some evidence to empirically make the decision about God, we'll be ready.
God is a word that triggers a. It either triggers a fantasy, because let's face it, the guy that lives up in the sky with the beard and stuff that's punishing people, that's a fantasy. I'm an American. That's just a fantasy. I'm a Caucasian. That's a fantasy. I'm a human being. In fact I'm simply the simple breath that keeps me alive, that entered this body as a baby, and when I die, I'll leave. And everything the mind tries to understand in the world, if you know, you feel fulfilled and satisfied within you. If you believe, you live in the world of skepticism.
This is where beliefs become kind of difficult. That's what you believe, and that's okay. But I've got, like I said,
I know the stove is hot because I touched it and was burned.
Yeah.
People can tell me not to touch it.
Can you provide the same evidence for the existence of, say, that breath entering your body? And again, I really don't know what else to say to you. I think we may be going in a bit of circle, but I want to thank you for your call. And
well, thank you, gentlemen, for your stepping out and trying to clear up some things in the world.
Sure, we appreciate it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We have a call.
Now.
Oh, thank you. We have another call, Mila from Bothell. Mila, what have you got for us today? Mila?
Well, I was listening to John. Hello?
Hello. Mila, what have you got for us today?
Yeah, I was listening to John, and can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So I was listening to John and his insistence of lack of believing. But what I think might be interesting to adopt as a new platform for atheists is to say, I do believe strongly that there is no God. So,
well, from my perspective, I try to build what I choose to believe based off of empiricism and the process of science is what we've actually tested, what we know is true.
What's demonstrable.
And what's demonstrable. And the thing about a lot of these religious concepts is that there's no evidence. In some cases, there's no real clear way on how to get that evidence.
Yeah, I mean, a big part of a lot of these claims is that they're non-falsifiable, that they overtly avoid having to deal with the sorts of questions which could either prove or disprove them. And I think that those sort of questions where if God moves around like a ninja and he evades every possible attack that you lay on this, like, okay, can we make this, the evidence of this being demonstrable? Is there an it to talk about? And they start talking about how it's outside of time and space. It's like, okay, we're done. I mean, until you prove that there's something, anything of any degree outside of time and space, or that it's possible to be outside of time and space, I'm not going to take that as an answer. I take that as a, oh, can't see me moving the goalpost sort of thing. So.
Oh, I know. The only thing I meant.
Oh, go ahead.
The only thing I meant is that.
Could you turn on your set, please?
Them accusing us of being boring or whatever it is, if it's just stated with much more passion that you do believe that there is no God, and actually nobody is asking believers to prove that there is a God. It's just taken as a given.
Well,
so why not the same way for non-believers?
Well, I don't necessarily say it's the same kind of assertion. Not all atheists, for instance.
We have to prove something.
I don't think I have to prove anything. I think that it's not the job of the skeptic or the disbeliever to have to prove that something doesn't exist. The burden of proof relies on the person making the claim. I just simply reject the really bad arguments that I've heard in its favor because they don't hold up, because they amount to basically using choose-your-own-adventure logic or a riddle to try to define something into existence rather than demonstrate